Believe he's the champion of Jackson. And I was just here to honor the blessing. Corner well, he thinks that he's in. Scotty's just a money you'll get. Sometimes we are joined by around that. It's just that they are so quiet. You wouldn't notice that. It's the Dobbers, DobberCast. Dobbers, DobberCast. It's the Dobbers, DobberCast. Listen to the DobberCast, yeah.
Hello, welcome to the DobberCast episode 2. It's me, Scott, money old git, and with me tonight, the guy that thinks he's all it. It's Connor.
I should be doing this 3D mode.
And he missed the first episode, but he's back, champion of champs. It's Murray.
All right, guys.
How are we doing? So before we get into things, since we're starting up again, I thought it'd be quite funny to kind of write a wee jingle for our DobberCast. So let me know if you like it. Post in the comments below. I know I quite like it. But aye, let's get into. We're going to just keep things flowing this week. I'd like to just keep it going. So we'll get into our week in universes. I'll do mine's last because I've got kind of a wee bit to say. But we'll start with yourself, Connor. How was your week? What were you playing on Saturday?
So the weekend was good. Finally got to play the game again. Obviously Godzilla's out, so that happened, playing Godzilla. Got my Earth build, testing the potential regional deck. Got kind of in the background right now. So it went pretty well. Had to play against Emma, who's like immediate kryptonite right now. I just can't beat Emma at all. Like it's just not happening. Just literally not happening. Either I'm getting scalped 2-0 or I'm losing 2-1. To continue that trend, I lost 2-1. But the game 2, I managed to turn 2 with like a crazy attack run. Like I like it with this deck when it's popping off. It's doing silly numbers, silly checks. It's possibly my favourite deck that's came out of university now. Like, it has to be. I don't think I've had any more fun with any other deck that I can think of.
Well, apart from Goro.
That was UFS days, so he's got his own timeline. And since universities, I mean, like maybe Nomu to an extent, but this Godzilla, man, every time, every game I get with him. Played Alexander. That was a close 2-1. I just didn't see the attacks at one point and allowed him to backswing. But I did turn 2 him as well. So I had to turn 2 against him as well. He gave me a momentum, and I went, "Oh, that changes this entire run." he was using his Earth Beast. He gave me a momentum, and I went, "Oh, this is going to be so good." So I managed to play out 4 attacks, finishing on needing to check an 8. Still get it. Just wipes him off the board. Probably the play of the entire weekend. Was that game? Can't remember who I played third.
What was Alexander playing?
Zhanghua.
Yeah.
Zhanghua.
Okay.
So
okay.
He got to do. I'll go for it.
I was request. That's a deck he's thinking about taking to regionals. So can we redacted when make a beep noise or something like that when we go to say what he was playing?
That's fine.
Okay.
We don't want to begin these English people tech against we're Scottish teammates, right?
That's true. Yep.
You're laughing, Scott, but you'd be raging if I was at Scott's coming down. He's playing Tetsu.
Who the fuck said I'm playing Zhanghua?
Exactly.
That's what they put in Zhanghua.
That's what I'll do. I'll do that as well when I'm talking about Godzilla, because that's what I'm taking. So no, I had a really good a bunch of games. I played Matt. Did I play? I can't remember who else I played. I played Emma. Oh, Ryan. It was Ryan. That game. That was something. That boy knows how to block. Is all I'm going to say. Holy, that was a long game. It eventually got the 2-0, but it was it was worth it. Oh, it was so brutal. He's getting so good at like just not taking damage, like, at all. There's so much good stuff going.
I think, well, no, I think you're right, because I'm sure the last time I played against him, I was just like, gonna just let me hit you? It's only like 2 damage, man. You've reduced it so much. I think you're right. He's really, really came along. Like, really. When we look at like when he first started, and then you look at him now, it's like a totally different player.
Oh,
So yeah, that was good. Good to see them come up. Let's move on to Murray. I know you like to send me your Saturday decks, and I get to look over them because it's like my only chance to go, oh, this could happen. What were you playing, mate?
So I revisited Tetsu. It's been a while, so I need to go back, give him some love. Mostly want to try him with that new Godzilla card that I can't remember the name of. Maybe you'll know it, Connor. It commits to build top card of your deck if it goes unblocked.
Titanic. Combat.
Titanic, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I wanted to try that in Tetsu. Just played a bunch of we'd expect Tetsu on Earth. A bunch of damage debuff, a couple of wee tricks. My attack package wasn't really just punch or anything focused. There's no reason to be nowadays. I'll probably throw the deck list up in the description to this. It was good fun. Definitely a bit of a challenge, I felt, going back to being 5 hand size, like 20 odd, 29 health, 28 health. Can't remember exactly. No, wait, 32? I don't know, man. I'm going to need to quickly search. 32 health. 5 hand size, 32 health. Doesn't feel fair, like knowing this current point of the game, we're getting 6-handers that are kicking about the same health total, if not greater. So, do that what you want, man. Like, but I had a really good game against Ryan. Super defensive. I think I had to be like 5 cards deep in my string to like kill him. Played against. God, who else did I play? Played against Matt, where he was playing insert deck.
Changhua.
He was playing Changhua, and it was difficult because he had like damage pump, a lot of damage pump kind of abilities floating about, options for it. Tetsu can only reduce one thing, it's an enhance, bit of a tough game, and I went into it expecting to get absolutely battered, and I turned 2 them or turned 3 them in one of the games, and then it was just kind of always in my favour. Walked into the finals, got paired against Emma, win game 1. No, wait, it was Emma that I turned 2. Matt, I think the games went a little bit longer. Turned 2 Emma in the first game, feeling super confident. Game 2, check 2 checks. Check badly on my build turn, check badly on my block turn, me blocking. Nothing I can do there. And then go into game 3 and the game lets me build 2 foundations. And I'm like, this game's also done. I've managed to get a little game with my pet deck at the moment with Ghidorah, actually, into Connor's new deck. That was a good match. Highlight of that game for me is probably the highlight of that weekend for me, to be honest. He came in for 10 damage exactly, and I had a -1 damage in hand simply. I'll be okay, like take 9, go down to 1, but you still need another attack to take this life off me. It feels really nice.
Yeah.
But that says I've not played against anything that seals my character yet, so we'll see how I feel when that happens.
Aye, that's going to be something. But then there's also the thing that was brought up in the chat about going to tiebreakers.
Tiebreakers, like
I'll take it. Go back to full health. Now at 100% health. I think that's dirty, but I think we'll fix that. I think we'll fix it.
Yeah, I think that's something they'll definitely fix. I would like to see them errata the character so they can't be sealed, or maybe just that ability can't be turned off the way we got with Tetsu.
Yeah.
But I don't see it happening, right? We don't have Bang floating about the meta. We've got like Bang from Wish, and it's a sideboard card at best.
Yep.
Um,
Aye. So.
But
No, it sounds good. I'm glad to see Tetsu getting some love, man. I was like, when you sent me it, I was like, oh, yes, it's happening. So coming to me. So this time, this regional, since qualification and stuff isn't happening, and Laura has friends in Nottingham. I says, why don't you come along and play? She's played in the regional before. She played the pigeon. What's his name? What's the pigeon's name?
Tokiyami.
Dark Shadow Pigeon. So she played that in her first regional. She won 2 games. She's no really played the game since, and she's coming back down. Going to be playing
In Zhanghua.
Doesn't matter. Like nobody's taking against Laura. Like. So yeah, we're going through the training process of this is how this works, this is how that works. It's like starting completely fresh again. So right now we're still in the stage of I want to try things and see what happens before I come up with some sort of strategy. Which for me is really difficult. I find because obviously I know what she's going to be doing. Like I've called like every card that's in her hand at one point without like I know what you're going to be doing. And she's like, we'll do X, Y, and Z, and it doesn't work, and she puts herself on the brink of death. I find it quite difficult, quite challenging at the moment because she knows the fundamentals. She knows the fundamentals of the game. Like she knows like the basics. It's just the strategy part that we're struggling with.
This is really interesting for me because it's kind of like I'm getting to watch you go through all the exact same stuff I went through with you. Like when you're, hey Murray, I've got a great deck idea. I'm going to take Scorpion 1 and I'm going to like try and start Scorpion 2. Engage wasn't even a mechanic yet, and I'm like, Scott, you're not doing this. You're not taking us to nationals. And you're so defiant, and I'm like, bud, just trust me. I know you want to beat me, but like you need a wee bit of help here.
Aye. So I think I messaged you, Murray. My favourite thing so far is like I melted her brain with a multi-response in the same window.
Yeah.
So what's the name of the attack? The 5
Dragon Strike.
Aye, so play Dragon Strike, Partners in Crime's in play. So like so you're going to be doing the flip, you go and seal, and then you've got Partners in Crime happening, and then you've got your response for your hand, and she's just like, ah! So the way that I'm teaching her how to deal with that is pictures. So just remember the picture on the card. If you see that picture, you know that you're going to be doing something.
Yeah.
Like so it doesn't matter. You can read it while it's in play. Like you don't need to know what it does. Just try and remember that the picture is there, and you know that you're going to be doing something. But she's took a couple of games off me. It's Dragon Lady, right? Like she's pretty nasty. And like, I don't know what it is, right? So I'm playing Wolfwood against her, and every time I've played Wolfwood, I never draw gas when I need it. Ever.
Well, the version you built was like 92 cards and ran 20 attacks or something like that. Like, I remember playing that deck, and after game 1 against Adam, I'm like, mate, do you mind if I just like take 30 cards out of this?
Wasn't it
And he-
90 cards?
He's like, sure, bud. And the deck flowed after that, so
I don't know. Like I was sitting on, ready to go eight cards, and I'd drawn nothing. And I'm like, oh well, Laurie, you've survived. You get to hit me again. But I do. We'll need to discuss her deck at some point when I get her over, because I don't think it's defensive enough for her. But I suppose you're hoping you don't need to be defensive. But
yeah, I just tried to give you something that pointed and clicked. Like,
yep, I know. But I feel like there was turns that she couldn't do anything.
okay.
But I was like, she's still learning. So while we're still on this subject, just a quick one for the 2Es, right? So, as a brand new player, how do you teach someone flip priorities?
So what target you want to flip first?
Yep.
All right, okay, that's easy. So it comes down to one or two things, and it's: do you think you're going to kill them this turn?
Right.
Do you think you're going to win the game this turn? If yes, you flip the best defensive piece, something that will reset your damage or take speed off you.
Okay.
If you don't think you're going to kill them this turn, you flip the thing that's going to help them kill you. Is how I'd always.
Right.
So explain that to a new player. You can simplify it down to, like, I don't know. I'm really bad at remembering the modern era's card names, so I'm going to use some old card names. Like, defensive wise, if somebody's got a refusing to let go, you can explain what refusing to let go does and why it would be a priority to not let them do that.
Okay.
But that refusing to let go doesn't matter as much if you're just poking, or if you blocked with the attack. If you blocked with it, then maybe consider hitting something that's going to give them +2 speed on all the attacks.
Okay. Connor?
Somewhat similar. I think also in game though, you can sometimes kind of like suss out a player's almost like attachment to cards. Like, like you can get in somebody's head by, like, if you know this is a card they like trigger everything off of, and you flip it, you can mess them up going into their turn. So kind of similar to what Murray's saying with, like, if there's not a defensive piece and you're going to go for the kill, go for something offensively they need, But I've done it a few times. Some stuff where I'm like looking through the cards and, like, which one they don't want you to pick, that way. And because you can see that way they're eyeing over it and stuff like that, or it's the last one they put forward when you go to read them all. Sometimes even just getting in somebody's head in a game.
That sounds like some cooling focused E to, like, tilt your opponent, and it's like, I don't follow that logic.
It was cooling.
So I've been going down a similar vein. I've put it in a kind of priority list, but I've put card draw at the top. So
all right, okay.
I've got don't let your opponent draw cards, then damage, then speed. I feel like that's easier for her to understand, because it's easier for her to just go to her opponent. Do you have anything that draws cards?
Yeah.
And she can flip it. Yeah, we'll flip that then.
Hopefully we can get her to a point where she's able to, like, realise some wee things, like, if your opponent's been blocking like a madman, like Ryan. If your opponent's been like Ryan and they're, like, 4 deep in their card pool because they just keep blocking and they're pretty much committed out, hitting that card draw probably doesn't matter as much as hitting the speed reducer.
Yeah, aye. But I don't think we're going to get to that stage. So
just a weekend boot camp with me, mate.
Well, I've seized her. It will happen.
I'll come to your door, mate. Like,
aye, fair enough. So, aye. Okay, that was a good wee look in on our week. I'll let you, if we record again before regionals, I'll let you know how Laura's getting on. She got 2 wins in her last regionals. I thought it was only 1, so we need 3 wins. It's doable. It's doable. We've had people go down 3 wins. So yeah. Right, let's move on to the juicy stuff. The things that people are wanting to hear us talk about. but I'm going to rewind us a wee bit because we are still a bit behind. We're going to go into the 2 high difficulty attacks and what came with them. So I'm going to start off with the 7 diff because it's a common. So the assault on Utgard Castle. It's got Blitz, Ruin 1. So ruins were new word for, which means Ruin 1, your rifle sacrifices 1 face down foundation. So, it's a 7 diff and it's a 4 check, which is interesting as well, and it's in its own right. A 4 check on an attack, and it's 7 mid for 7. But
On you go.
no, I was just going to ask what your guys' thoughts are on this.
Don't quote me completely, but I'm pretty sure this is the second ever 4-check attack that isn't also a foundation or an action or an asset, the way they used to do those like weird split cards.
Yeah,
I think
we're going to do a video on
Yeah, I think that's it. You're going to do a video on it?
that. Well, without Hangman, I want to go into things that have left the game, things that have came in and left the game.
Alright, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I think we've had one other 4-check attack before, and I seem to remember it seeing a relative amount of play, but like my local scene at the time wasn't massive. Like people used to play it because it's a 4-check attack. So I'm wondering if how much will transfer over to this. This does have the downside. I mean, a 7 difficulty attack, so it's like 7 diffs, nothing to laugh at, right?
Yeah, well, I should mention it's on Infinity as well. But well, the 7 diff is good in the high diff attack package of Byakko.
Yeah, but how many of these are you playing in a turn? So hypothetically, you stack a 6 and then play this. That means you're playing this on an 8. You're still having to commit to. It's
Yeah. I'm not sold, right? I'm not. The 4 check's nice. +1 mid block's nice. But no our thoughts on Blitz. Ruin. Ruin. It could do nothing. What if your opponent has no face downs? It's going to be it's going to be very unlikely. But yeah, Ruin. I'm not sold. It should just be sacrifice a foundation, I think. But who am I? Yeah, Connor, you're staying quiet, mate.
Yeah, I don't really know that. My problem with Ruin is I really don't have an opinion on it for once. Like, not negative, not positive. I just have literally like, I just it's just another keyword, isn't it? Really, like maybe somebody maybe like as they develop it, there's like somebody's like, oh right, that's a Ruin deck kind of thing. Like, but just seeing Ruin 1 right now, I'm sitting going like, I mean, we've seen like Murray playing like Kuwabara. Like Ruin 1 is doing nothing to that deck.
Yeah.
Like I've seen his stage with like 20 plus face downs. You know, like
excuse me, like 40 plus.
Sorry, 40 plus. Like at current, yeah, it's an addition. If we see some more stuff happening with it, yeah, fair enough. Maybe I'll get a bit on board with it. The attack itself's nice though. I don't mind big high diff attacks. So having like an extra 4 check in my deck that fills the space of an attack is quite nice. Obviously get Infinity, so it's going in whatever I want. So I like the attack. I just not really get much on Ruin, sadly.
It's funny that you say that you're indifferent because I've said that about quite a lot of this set. I'm actually kind of I put it in the chat. Like, I'm numb to it. Like there's nothing here that I'm like, yes, whoa, look at that. This is amazing new mechanic or a new addition to the game. There's nothing here that screams out this is good. Like,
I think realistically, right, what was our last big game changing mechanic or big game changing thing that happened with the game. We got all these teasers and we got all these like The Office podcasts they done where they kept saying about how My Hero was going to have its own unique card type, and we all thought we were going to get something to do with quirks. Sorry, guys. And then it never came to be. So the last real impact that we had from a game, like the game development side, was Gage. And Gage really was a breath of fresh air into like older characters who you never used to be able to start characters, right? You had to jump through hoops, or you had to play like some weird Mega Man cards or other cards that were like reduce the difficulty, or you took damage so you can build. And then Gage comes out of nowhere, and we get a moment of rest, the promo. So then Gage and other characters become so much more viable, and it just really opens up a bit of deck building. Whereas I've yet to see anything from this set that I'm like, oh wow, that's going to have massive implications, other than a tune. But the trade-off there is surely a tune would have just, if those cards had 3 symbols, they'd probably still see play and just as many decks. Like a tune seems like it's been designed for this limited, you're just going to play Attack on Titan only. And I feel like that could have just been an overriding rule that they could have had for that format, opposed to it being all these cards have 1 symbol. So I know I'm like diverting onto a tune here, but it's
No, sorry.
it's definitely echoing on the. I've yet to see anything that's going to change up how I play the game or how I think about deck building.
No, 100%. Well, you're saying about changing up deck building. What about this other attack that we got? Colossus's Thermal Blast. 13 diff, 4 check, plus 0 mid block. It's on Infinity. It's a secret rare. And then it's got Blitz. Your rival flips 5 foundations. And then response after this attack deals damage to your rival. Ruin 13. Now, before I get your guys' thoughts, right? I actually think this card is somewhat of a breath of fresh air. Now, I don't know the history of the game, but the highest difficulty attack that I've seen is an 8 diff, I'm sure. I don't think I've seen any higher. Murray's looking like, has he?
I was looking because I've got a University's dot card, the best deck building site and database for the game, open to my left, and I was just about to search for difficulties.
Yeah, right. So I think the highest I've seen is 8, right? So 13 diff, I think, is something that's going to be interesting to see. The fact that it's on Infinity, I think this gets played as a cheeky one-off or a sideboard card, at least. I think this is going to be in quite a lot of decks because of if you're up against something, that game's going long, you go bang, rival flips 5 foundations, ruin 13. That's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong, but that's what I think. I think it's going to be in a lot of decks or in the sideboard. Let's hear it.
So there was a 12 difficulty attack way back in the day at Darkstalkers 1.
Yeah, so I've not seen it.
I'm going to share it in this chat. Shows you a wee bit of how far game design has came since, man. Like when you look at the stats of this thing compared to Colossal Thermal Blast.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first for Colossal Thermal Blast, Connor?
I can do. I'm kind of the same as Scott. Like this coming out, so like obviously I kind of was like a bit numb, not really too sold on Ruin, and then this kind of was like, right, okay, is this the scale we've got? We've got a 1 to 13 kind of scale. Like playing out this attack, obviously you get to do the blitz effect, so there's some level of interaction now, but you're getting to flip 5 foundations. Like you're forcing your rival to flip 5 foundations. A lot of the time, that is a severe, especially with the way people still kind of dodge around deadlock. It's still definitely something you see. Flipping 5, you are turning off somebody's, and then it's 7 speed or 7 damage before anything else happens, So, like, somebody's going to have to block this. They're going to have to commit some foundation. So you might not get the full effect of Ruin, but you're probably getting a fair whack of it, like enough to pretty much change the game. Like this is like, oh, what an attack.
So for myself, like I understand the appeal of this card. It's big, it's flashy, it's going to sell boxes. I'm not completely sold on it. Like we've definitely seen cards that can flip a decent number of foundations from opponent's stage anyway. We're seeing an increased number of cards that flip to do something as well. So by the time you play this to flip 5, odds are they probably have mostly a face down board, other than maybe a couple of key pieces. But the fact that it's trigger, the response, it'd be way too good if the response was on play, or if it was just another
Right.
blitz effect.
Oh,
Way too good. Maybe Deadlock Blitz would have been key there, but I think they might be starting to shy away from Deadlock if Blitz is their new, not Blitz, Rune's their new answer. But realistically, right, if I have more than 13 foundations in play that are already face down, I'm probably sitting about 18 to 20 foundations. You're playing this in a 13, you are either playing this maybe as your second card of the turn. Not talking about Seishi Wakamaru because he's going to eat a ban thanks to this card.
yeah.
But you're probably like, what? You need to at least have 10 foundations in play if you're going to slam this and not just end your turn or die in the crackback. Would stop me for just blocking. Like, it's 7 mid. It needs to deal damage. Mid's the most common block zone. We've got plenty of ways you can offset a block zone nowadays. And yeah, I've blocked attacks on a bloody 19. I've blocked multiples back to back on 19s and laughed at my opponent where I've done it. I'm not worried about a 7 mid 7. And
But
there's this argument about, oh, I can increase the speed or I can increase the stats, but
when I thunder his roar it, mate, it's coming in. It's
Right.
coming in.
So you thunderous roar it, but then my counter argument would be, what about people with speed resets? How bad is this going to be to play into a board with speed resets? And not all speed resets are on the board. Like
Evading copy.
evading copy, is that the thing I'm thinking? I'm thinking
don't know.
shield barrier? Barrier shield?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
barrier shoot.
Yeah.
Like one of the most common played cards. Like how bad is it going to feel? Like you play this, you check a free, you have to tap most of your board to play it, and then your opponent puts a barrier shield, block with something that already had breaker, end your turn. It's I do see the appeal of the card. I'm just not completely sold.
Fair.
What I do find really interesting is I know this is 13 difficulty, but it's really showing us the difference here between what bill values an SR to be compared to a common. The way that we've had the Rosewater blogs in the past that compares like the vanilla 2/2 bill to something that rare that will have 2 or 3 abilities. And we're starting to see this like bad. I'm not going to say call them bad cards, right? Because we might see play in like Hood or something for Assault, but we're going to start to see these. You need weaker cards to make you see why a better card is good, and that's a really scary game design, especially for like a close to 300 card set.
So
At least
it's
from my perspective.
so it's actually really good that you mentioned that, because I was going to bring it up along with the deadlock thing. But I remember when we started playing just after Cowboy Bebop, before Mortal Kombat, that we were told by you
Mm-hmm.
that Jasco don't print bad cards, or every card has a place somewhere. And now we're coming into that era that not every card has a place. That is not even close.
Nah.
It is not even close. Like I was actually looking over some commons and stuff for like was the for Seventh Cross and stuff because it's my favourite set. And like I was like, oh yeah, I play that. Oh yeah, I play that. I totally play that. Yep, that's gone in a deck somewhere. Oh, I can't afford X. Right, well that takes its place right away. We're now coming into that era that if you can't afford that card, then there's no point playing that deck. I'm actually pretty worried about that. Deadlock wise, I think you're right. I think they're getting rid of Deadlock. They've not printed a proper Deadlock card in wherever, like nothing worthy.
Yeah, I don't want to completely derail this, but like they done one of the design diaries recently or whatever, where they had like the people that work for the company putting out their Godzilla deck lists, and it's like, oh, here, look at these things we built. I think at best one of the decks was playing like 10 Godzilla cards in it, and that's not like 10 different Godzilla cards. That's like playset of this to the foundation. If you're putting it like these kind of, oh, look at what we can build with these decks, and you're butchering the decks to the point where you're only using a handful of cards, why did we ever get rid of DLC? DLC was an issue. We replaced it with something, in my opinion, that's probably just as harmful, if not a wee bit more. You have it sitting in stores, and people will, oh, hey, the access point to this game to buy a starter deck is 35 quid. And that's if the store's selling it about what retail is here.
Yeah.
It's not attractive from a game perspective. But yeah, I could spend all day moaning about this.
Aye, well, I think we all could.
Aye.
Let's just move swiftly on to the next thing that we're going to moan about.
Right, quickly before you move on, since I still have Colossal Thermal Blast up. Does Shishi Wakimaru eat a ban for this card?
Yeah.
Or does he become the first character to have this card is banned in this character?
Nah, I think they just banned the character.
He's done nothing. The character has done nothing.
So
like, why not just ban this card in that character?
So the reason I don't think they'll do the whole ban this card and this character is because there's been ample times where they could have done it and they've not done it. I just assume they're not going to go down that design mythology, personally. Like, I think if a card makes a character like Big Swishy Boy just mental, they'll just be like, right, just we don't play Swishy Boy. He wasn't getting played beforehand, and like a meta warping element shouldn't be the reason why he gets played as well. So
I don't know, man. I don't think banning a card that never seen the light of day because one card might make it relevant the route to go.
I mean, I guess it all comes down to also like who ends up playing stuff at 2. Like, there's been a handful of times where there's definitely been cards being like, this is getting banned, and then nobody plays it, and it just avoids the ban hammer. You know?
Yeah. What do you think, Scott?
Hey, I'm unsure, mate. To be honest, big shish kebab. I don't know. It's actually really difficult to call because, like Connor says, they've not done it before. Just ban a card and a character, but they've actually been really slow at dealing with stuff as well.
Yeah,
like, they're really, really slow. Honestly, I think that they've just totally forgot that he existed because he's no seen play when they've designed this card. They're like, he doesn't see. Oh well, who is that again? What? Oh, he does what? Oh, and I think because they're going to want to push Attack on Titan by itself, I don't think they're worried about it yet.
I guess the other alternative is you errata him so that it's only weapon attacks they can play with at the check.
Yeah, aye. So
because
basically
Wetton already plays into his gimmicks or his attack package.
fair enough. But right, okay. I was going to say is he own symbol for it, but it's infinity. But that,
These attacks should never have had infinity to begin with, but fair enough.
so aye, that takes us on to not all the symbols are going to be in this set, but they are attuned, so it shouldn't make that big of a difference. So the symbols that we're going to get are death, fire, chaos, order, life, air. And now that I've realised what I've done with typing that out, and it's actually really annoyed me. It's not an order. Is that still a thing? Is that still a thing, by the way? I've never actually. Is that? Okay, so they've kept that.
So it's what? Air, chaos, fire. Not air, chaos, death, fire, life, order.
Yeah.
Is the correct order.
Yeah, so we had a wee discussion beforehand about what could be affected by this, and I don't think there's a lot. We should be able to see everybody get access, or almost everybody get access to cards in this set. However, if you're on Ojiro 2, which I don't think anybody is, Eraserhead 2 is maybe a shout. Toya, I don't think has seen a lot of play. Yuhojo, I'm actually quite sad about. Hood, I'm actually really surprised Hood doesn't see play. And then Tetsu, they don't get access to anything in this set.
Other than Colossal Thermal Blast
Aye,
and
the Infinity
stuff.
So,
yeah. So, I mean, if let's say you are a die-hard player in one of these characters, like yes, man, my man's Tetsu. I don't play anybody else. I've seen people do it. Like there you go. They don't need to buy anything here. Like
No.
they don't need. They've got their cards. They can do what they want. I think that's an oversight. Granted, it is a very, very small portion of available characters, right? Very, very minuscule. But you've just like outright told people playing these characters, oh well, like we don't care. Your characters has got nothing here. That kind of annoys me. Just like if it was Byakuya, say, I'd be annoyed.
Yeah.
I would rightfully be annoyed that I'm getting no new cards to play with, and everybody else is. But I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts.
On the go, Connor.
Oh, you're up.
I'm not.
I've got a
Right.
few things.
So it's funny, right? I was letting you go because my first point really relates to you. When you started this game, and for the longest time, you didn't play things that weren't Earth. Don't get me wrong, you played a couple of events that weren't Earth, like Earth decks, but
Yeah.
I seem to remember you borrowing decks or
Aye.
borrowing a deck list or whatever for it. But you predominantly played Earth. We bit it all here and there, but you were that one symbol, that one mind rat kind of driven. That one symbol mindset. That was all you were going to play. That's all you were worried about. Now, you were also a collector of the game for the most part, so you were still buying product and you still had access to things. But if you're that diehard and set in your way about one symbol, other people out there are going to be the same. And I can think of a player off the top of my head who is the only symbol he plays is Earth nowadays, and it's Wee Reese, who judged in the past. He exclusively plays Earth. What motivation is there for him to buy this set? Why should he care? Like, fair enough, he can if you're playing Overhaul, you can get access to the life cards that are attuned, but why would they care? Like, what's the driving force here? It's not as egregious as what Vanguard did with the clans and each Vanguard set that would come out had somewhere between 4 to 6 clans, and there was maybe about 16 clans in the game. But this set comes out and your clan's not represented, so you can skip a set, and then you get to the next set and your clan's still not there, so you can skip a set, and then you get to the third set, and by that point, like, you're a trading card game player, right? You just skip 2 sets. You've already been playing other games. You've probably dropped Vanguard and you don't care anymore. Like, we're in this, what, people don't have the attention span nowadays to like watch 15-minute YouTube videos. God knows how our podcasts get views. It's all shorts that people care about. So who's going to kick about and wait for the set that's going to have all good and earth in it so they can get cards for their Cassie Cage deck? It's like, genuinely, it takes me back to like my opinions on Attune to begin with and everything. It's Attune would have been fine if it was a cycle of promos akin to the old Foundations of Power. If we got a new version, and that's where we first seen Attuned on these 12 cards, and we got to see them in that vacuum, and they'd have like, say, a set or two of this being the promo to gauge the player's response before they go, by the way, the full set's going to be like this, and we'll drop them 6 symbols. Yeah. I've seen a couple of mixed opinions from people that I value the opinion of, saying that it's a good thing because they'll be able to balance the game more and they'll be able to focus it around these 6 symbols. And it's like, they can't balance 3 symbols at a time, never mind, like, look at, who was it you played at Regionals? Younger Toguro? If Younger Toguro didn't have Death, he was probably still having that dominant run that he had on either of the other 2 symbols. If he didn't have another one of them, he was still having that dominant run on that last symbol. That character was just pushed to the moon. And you can't tell me that, like, if he only had 2 symbols, it'd have been easier to balance them. Nah, man. It doesn't work like that. If anything, they've just increased the amount of cards that character could run. So obviously they're going to struggle to balance things. No. I'm going to definitely try to lay off on the Bills X Magic and stuff, but mate, like, we had double digits worth of mana in our game and you've cut us down to 6 per set.
I called it, by the way. I called it weeks ago.
Man, you did.
I was like, we're going to have this fire, water, good, evil, and something else. But I mean, we're not far off, and people laughed.
See if this is something they're doing in a vacuum, and they're going to have these 6 symbols in set 1, and then the other 6 in set 2 for Attack on Titan. And then by the time we finally get to Tekken 8, they just give me my game back, like the way it was, then I'll be happy.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm not against change. I'm just against change for the sake of change. And I feel that's where we're at.
So it's funny, I like to bring in quotes for other people.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Adam that says, it's like they've just threw everything at a wall and they're going to see what sticks.
Yep.
And that's what it feels like. I 100% agree. But Connor, what's your thoughts on the 6 symbols?
Basically, every symbol I played's no in this set. So, like, if I wasn't a collector in the nicest possible way, I would 100% skip this set. Like, there's literally nothing in it for me. Like, and then I don't know. This is going to be bad, right? Because I'm normally the positive guy, right? But I think this is bullshit. Like, I would love to know from the level of design what they're fully worried about. Like, I would love for them just to come out and say, this is our worries about the game. Here's why we're going in this direction to solve it. I feel as if the transparency of this company sometimes really kicks them in the nuts. And it's sad. It's sad to see, because if they just came out and said, listen, this is the worries we've got, here's what we're attempting to fix. Obviously, I sort of defended last time Blitz to a degree, right? Like, I can see what they're maybe attempting to fix. But if they don't say it, that's me just speculating. That's me just throwing out a potential idea. Like, that only goes as far as my opinion. I think this set just feels as if they're putting too much new for all the sake of their whole mental load scenario. Like, how much new has come into this game? Like, even existing players are going to be like, right, hold the bus. We need to slow this all down now. Things like taking out half the symbols is a really radical change. If this is just one big experiment for the last two sets and they see what people like and what people don't, and then they go forward from there, cool. These sets are designed like 2 years in advance. Like, what stuff is not going to be able to be changed? Like, what things will they have implemented now that are in the game into, say, Tekken and what else we get? It genuinely makes me worried. The idea of them balancing symbols, there's been a lot of not great moments for their whole idea of balancing. One thing they definitely have to do is this whole, like, oh, we need data from tournaments. Like, you need to scrap that. That needs to get scrapped if we're going to develop this game. Like, they need to take at least opinions to an actual degree into play. They're too slow to fix stuff when it comes to, like, if one symbol now just shoots right up. Like, you've got, like, so, like, what symbol? Like, we've got death in this symbol, so, like, anything on death currently is getting a massive jump because you're just going to see a massive sway of cards. Anyone on Earth now, sorry, but, like, it's my favourite symbol, but anyone on Earth is now going to be like, right, cool, I am now a set out of progression. Like,
yeah,
Girl Power is where my progression stops. I've now got to assumably wait until set 2 of Attack on Titan before I get anything that says, right, this symbol now progresses. I'm worried about that concept, especially down to the fact we don't know how they're releasing products. Now, we get products way too much. It's almost every month there's a different product. Not every product's the same size as well. So what happens if, like, Tekken's where I get Earth back and it's a challenger deck?
we know Tekken will be a booster set.
Yeah, so
But
every product they said will have, like, that kind of leeway of symbol releases. You might be the guy that plays, as I say, like me, plays Earth. I missed this set. Maybe next set I get it, but then I might miss the big increases of that symbol. And then,
sorry.
go for it. No, go for it. Go for it.
So right, in my head, right, now that you've said that, in my head, what I think is in their head is that's how they get sales. This kind of leapfrog. This set does this. This set does that. Oh, well, they're going to buy this set anyway to get the cards for attunement, and then we'll leapfrog the power on Earth, and then we'll leapfrog the power on Fire.
Oh yeah, you get to be GW.
Yes, aye.
Yeah.
You get the GW effect. That could be the thing that they're going for here. But again, you don't know. But I think it's like the cloak and dagger stuff. I don't get it. It's like they're the Russians trying to cover up Chernobyl. Like, I don't. Well, just tell us what's happening, man.
Yeah.
This wee dribble of article every so often, like, and it's not even all the information.
No.
I don't get it. Just tell the players what's happening. And then maybe there's licensing stuff involved, which is fair enough. I would actually rather know nothing than the wee dribbles. I would rather have absolutely nothing until the set comes out than the wee snippets that we're getting.
Well, even for, like, the concept of doing demos and stuff, right? We knew they'd done these new demo decks. Will be new demo decks with Attack on Titan that stores will probably have now. But then they made the mythical versions or the legends versions, whatever they want to call it, so they could demo before they were able to use the Attack on Titan license. Why weren't, like, PDFs of those cards made available so that some guy like me could knock up, like, 12 print and play versions and then go and run demos at his local? Like, these cards, I still haven't seen all the cards in the demo decks. Whereas if you're like, if this is a great teaching tool, then make it widely available. Fair enough, it costs way too much money to replicate what they did with the Midori and Bakugo decks, but set up print and play. Set up print and play versions. Set up a version that's going to go in TTS. It probably is on TTS at this point, but it's just
we're no important, mate. That's why. But that,
oh yeah, the Dobbers only, but like the players should be.
aye.
It's
Aye. Well, we could bang on again and on all day, because I don't think there's much that we're happy about so far. I'm actually hoping it turns around. Right, I really hope that it turns around at some point.
will when Tekken comes.
So let's. If I'm getting conscious of time here, so we're going to go into characters. Connor, do you want to give us a character? Let's. What if we go here? Right.
Can I do this one? The one in pick.
Right, do whatever you want.
Right.
Do what you want.
I want
Do best.
as somebody who is an avid, top tier fan of Attack on Titan. Right? I know every character, bar who the fuck is Big Mouth Titan? Like,
do you know what's funny, right? See if he had an actual name, right? You would probably just call him Big Mouth Titan.
I know.
I know. But this guy, right, completely takes away my ability to nickname characters. Because that is a nickname. Like, they have killed my concept of how I know who the hell people are talking about. Like, I don't even think he's got that big a mouth, to be honest. like I'm looking at like this. The card looks cool, I will say. I do like the art. I've actually started to really warm up to the art style though, and the color contrast and stuff. I'm like, but right, I'll read this character. Right, so 6-hand size character with 31 health has an enhance. Your turn, your attack gets +2 damage. If you have not added any cards to your momentum this turn, add the top card of your deck to your momentum. And then the form is once per turn. Discard a card, add 1 card from your momentum to your hand. Got Chaos and Fire. 2 symbol cards. I'll just start. I like what's kind of happening with it. I like the fact the form's obviously a once per turn. It's not a first form or anything like that. So he looks like he's got something going for him. Obviously, there's like a lack of like what's in this set. Like, but I like the idea of getting a wee bit of kind of taking momentum. You know, like there's plenty of cards that actually want momentum.
The enhanced gets you momentum.
Yeah, you're getting extra damage and then you get momentum during your turn. There is a lot of stuff that can be done with that. So I quite like the fact that he's not super strong, but Scott pointed out to me earlier, and I didn't actually notice this, he is only a common character as well.
Yeah.
That's something that actually went completely over my head. I never noticed that on first look. So, like, he's not... It kind of looks cool because he's not completely busted. I can see what stuff can happen here. But hopefully that maybe scales up with different rarity characters then.
No, hopefully it doesn't. No, that you're going the complete wrong way. I don't want to see.
I'm with Scott here, mate. Like, there should be no difference between a common character and a SR character in terms of power level.
Because, like I say to Connor in the preamble, like, I don't want to see Brock Lesnar come in with 6 symbols, a 5-hand size, 45 health, just because he's an SR, like, with a ridiculous ability. Like, I do not want to see that at all.
That's kind of my biggest fear. On you go, mate.
Like, this guy's a common, right? And do you know what? He's not great, but he's also not terrible, right? I think he's playable because of the momentum generation thing. Everything gets +2 damage. And then he gets to take a momentum to his hand. So he's no absolutely busted, but again, I think he would see play in today's meta as just a character. No, it doesn't matter he's a common, but I think he could see play as a character. Aye. When you go, mate.
So, in today's meta, ignoring a tune, he can see play. right?
Yeah.
But once you start taking a tune into the equation, he's only got 2 symbols. Does that not instantly put him in a weaker stead than any character that's came previously because they have 3? And to echo onto your concern about rarity, does this mean that the characters we've seen previously, they were uncommons? Did they get 3 symbols because they were uncommon? Is that why they've got 3 compared to him having 2? Because my current concern is, are we going to see the SR? I don't know who's the main character. Aaron. I don't know. I don't watch Attack Titan. Are we going to have main character lad have 5 symbols, 6 symbols?
Yeah, that's what I say.
It's
Brock Lesnar. He's the main character.
He's the main character in our story.
It's nah, man.
I can because I can actually picture it. Brock Lesnar, he's going to have at least 4 symbols. Can play whatever he wants. Stupid health and hand size.
Well, I mean, stupid health and hand size. Both these characters we've seen so far are 6 hand size, 30 plus health.
Yep.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Can we go back to the good old days, man? I miss my 6-hander that was about 26 health. It's
yeah. That's something I find. I would love to know what the design aspect to that, because it does seem as if everybody's above 30 health now.
Well, not everybody. We've only seen it slowly tick up, right? Younger Toguro was the only 6 hand size 30 health character on Yu Yu. And then did Girl Power have any? 2? 1? Can't remember. And then we get to this set and it's here's your first 2 characters you get to see. Both of them are 6 hand size, 30 health plus.
Yeah. One thing that you didn't touch on is no difficulty, no control check, no block zone. Now, let's be honest, right? Buddy blocks didn't actually see play apart from Unlimited, right? But the fact that I don't have the option to put 6 checks and +0 mid blocks in my deck, I think is, I don't know, it's a bit.
I think I know why they've done it though, right? Obviously, draft is something they want to push with, potentially. Hopefully not. And obviously there was that whole idea of if you don't have enough to make your deck, you can have that whole faceless face down foundation scenario. I think that's what they're trying to edge on, is instead of you doing what in the past you would do, you just throw in your 6 checks from the characters you had in your packs. I think they're maybe trying to delve more into that aspect of the rule they've put in place for it.
Yeah, but that face down ruling was ridiculous.
Yeah,
they went from having it used to be a 2-5 foundation,
5,
and they changed it to being a 3-4 that you can't block with, and it's why would you try and push a format but also make that format harder on people that aren't really good at grafting? Because this isn't Magic where I'm picking 2 colours and I'm only picking the name. You need to keep 12 symbols in mind, and then what characters have you opened that? Nah. My hope with these cards not having the difficulty in block and control check, I'm hoping for a flat ruling that character cards that don't have them are considered to be 6 difficulty +0 mid block 6 check. I don't see it happening, but there's no way we're getting 2 sets of this and we're not getting 2 different errands. In retro, somebody's got to want to gauge errands. And they won't be able to, right? Because this card, they don't have the required bits. But MD that's been playing this game for more than 5 minutes knows that a character is a 6 diff +0 mid block with a 6 check. It's known. It just changes if it says something different on the card.
Yeah. It is known.
Yep. I had to stop myself doing that. But as you touched on, Connor, about pushing draft or even pushing sealed, right? Because they still want pre-release events to be sealed at least. These guys have 2 symbols. Talk about making the game harder for somebody, especially a new player that's showing up to your pre-release.
or just somebody like me who has terrible luck at draft. Like,
Yeah.
I'll just not see any chaos or fire, and that's the only character I get. You know, what does somebody in that scenario do?
Aye. Well, let's talk about our next guy. Hans. I don't even know who this guy is. I've
That's
seen
Hans.
I've seen the first season like many moons ago, right? But I don't remember this guy. He's no the wee blonde-haired guy. He's no the chick that's dead good at everything, and he's no the main character. And he's no Brock Lesnar. So
He's
So-
Brock Lesnar from Wish.
So, aye, big hands there. He's a Garrison. When you go, Murray, try to tell us about him.
Mate, I've no idea who he is. He is also 6 hand size, 32 health this time instead of 31. And he has some kanji down the side showing that it's not just limited to SRs in this set, apparently. Oh, wait, the other guy had kanji as well.
Yeah.
Ooh. After a block is played, you get a wall counter. And then your attacks get +1 damage for every 2 wall counters on your character to a maximum of 7. Now that's +7 damage, no maximum of 7 wall counters. And you get to enhance tap him, but we can't say tap. Return this to attack to its printed speed.
It's funny that you mentioned the damage and no counters. I'm guessing you've seen the Facebook argument that somebody was having.
Aye.
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 Yeah. I mean, I get some of where he's coming from, right? But if you play the game, it'll be explained to you. Somebody will explain it to you. Like I've said it before, you don't learn this game by yourself. It's very difficult to learn by yourself. Somebody's going to take your hand and talk you through it.
Mate, you've no idea. Like, myself and another new player tried to learn the game together using starter decks, and it doesn't help when you know what Toguro Brothers is, right? The action.
The action.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you know what the foundation Lost Memories is?
No.
Right. Lost Memories is Toguro Bros that sits in play, and it's
Okay.
no unique, right? Card was misprinted on release, so instead of being an R, it was an E. So imagine trying to learn this game and having a Toguro Bros foundation that was an E, and not understanding the game because of this one card.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. It wouldn't have been for a few weeks later that like we met somebody that knew how to play the game, and they kind of explained what it is. But,
Yeah, fair enough. Do you know this guy's another common? And again, like he's no YT, right? He's no younger Toguro. He's got damage pump on face.
Yeah.
He's probably going to get counters pretty fast. Because after a block is played, so both sides of the coin there. It's 7 damage. I mean, YT finished games before he was on 7 damage anyway. So I think this guy's actually pretty decent. And he's got the return attack speed to printed, which is, I mean, it's alright. It's pretty decent. I quite like him.
he seems alright. He's just. I really wish he wasn't 30 odd health. But hey ho. Something that might be worth note, right? Haynes is card number 11 in the set,
Okay.
and he's only a H. His name only begins with H, right? So there's a lot of letters that come after H, and I can only assume Attack on Titan has a lot of characters. In terms of previews, the next card up that we've seen is 29.
Okay.
I put it out in our chat the other day. I reckon there's 24 characters in this set, not counting SR.
Fair.
I think we'll at least get 1 or 2 at SR. I think we're going to get at least a full cycle of these at common, where they'll cover a bunch of the 2 symbol combinations, maybe 2 cycles of them, because this guy's at 11. And then we'll start seeing uncommons and upwards. But yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, it's going to have a lot of dudes. And one lassie that likes potatoes.
I shockingly know that reference.
Who, Laura? I don't think she's in the set, mate. Aye, go Connor. Let's hear it.
So, right, I know who this character is, only because Aaron knows who this character is. So, when the main character's Moz getting munched at the start, he's the wee guy that grabs him and runs to the gate. Right? I don't know what else he does. Like, as far as I'm aware, that's about as useful as he's been, you know.
He builds a wall.
Aye, he's good at blocking.
Apparently he's good at blocking and running away. Like, so, aye. How does he have more health than a Titan though?
That's a good question.
I don't like that. It might be the tiniest nitpicky kind of thing, but I don't like the idea of these wee tiny humans having more health than the Titans.
That's actually a good point.
I get it's for the idea of him doing his ability, but like, I don't know. That one feels weird. That one just I even brought that up with a couple other people after finding out who the character was, and I went, all right, cool. So how does he get 32 health in my game? Like, like all he's been is like parental guidance for the main character to get them to a gate. Like,
that's because the person designing this set also had a hand in Space Marines having the same strength as a bell. So that's my last like match at the garden thing.
I like this character though. I do like the static. Obviously the hand's pretty good as well. But then comparing the 2 of those commons together, I don't feel as if they're on the same power level. Like, I feel as if he is going to do way more, you know? Like, he just seems to scale very aggressively.
But no every character does. No every character does have the same power level, right? And we know that. We know that not, right? But this guy, he's on the upper end of common. What's going to come? I think we need to see what comes with the other rarities and how that affects power level.
Yeah.
And it's obviously perceived power level, right? We're not saying that this guy is stronger than the other one. It's perceived power level. I just want to get that disclaimer out there. Because we've been known to be wrong. But I think he's alright. He's not too bad. But there's not really much else to say. I think we've got everything out of them. But let's get on to right, big meaty one, right? The thing that everybody was shouting about for a couple of weeks. We've finally seen a backup. Alright. Do you want to pick one, Connor?
Aye. So we've got this guy called Jace the Mind Sculptor.
I don't think he's anything on Jace the Mind Sculptor.
I don't know. This looks like there's a stairway to a library, right? That's as much reference as I've got. Right, no, we've got this 4-diff A Titan bracket small, normal size mouth with 4 stamina. I think it is, isn't it? It's not health, it's stamina.
Yeah, it's stamina.
Yeah, and it says 6 check. So we've got response after you block with this card, build it at the end of the combat phase. And says to tap or I'm going to get that so much. Lose 1 stamina. This attack gets +1 or -1 speed. Cool. It's like a really cool asset with health. I'm in no way, shape or form. I don't like. Like if I wanted to go play another card game, I would. I don't get the reason for this one. Sadly, I'm going to do my Adam here. I don't get why this is in other than to add something that exists in our game. Like, this in the past wouldn't have a wee health bar and would just be green as a good asset.
I don't even think it would.
Like it would classify as good.
Aye.
I don't know. An asset that you can block that comes into play and taps for +1, -1. Like, it's not get unique, obviously, is what I like.
Are we looking at the same card here, mate? Right,
Light and
let's break it down, right? Let's break it down. It's 4 difficulty.
Yep.
Right. That you're not playing this in your opening hand.
You're not playing this if you didn't build it as a block.
Yeah. Well, aye.
Yeah.
So I mean that's obviously got a wee bit going for it, but it's a +3 mid. It's got a 6 check, which is fine. Right, I like a 6 check, just like everybody else. It's got 4 health. Right, we never really went through the backup thing about So backup is a card that comes into play in your stage. It's not been fully explained, but I'm guessing when you play an attack, you either have to direct it to the player or the backup because you can't block. You can't block the attack directed at the backup.
Good guess.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't block is all the information we know.
Yeah. So you can't block it. So I'm going to guess, right, that you can't decide, play an attack, see what the damage is at, and then decide, or just fling it there instead. I'm guessing you're going to have to actually direct it on hit effects and on damage effects, and that'll cover. That's another can of worms. So it's got 4 health, and it's lose a health on the stamina. Sorry, it's in a heart. No, I mean, you change your symbols.
They're the same.
Aye, 4 health.
I don't know. No idea why they didn't just call it health.
Yeah.
They could have just said this card loses a health.
So in order to get its ability, you need to commit and the card loses a health. So you can only use it 4 times for +1 or -1 speed. There is nothing really redeeming about that. So aye, fine. Your attacks have now got 4 of your attacks have now got +1 speed, or 4 of my attacks have got -1 speed. Foundations there are for less cost. There's nothing here redeeming about this card. It sees absolutely 0 play in anything. And if it does, it's a new player because they've not got a clue.
Yeah. Unless we get some sort of like massive payoff for Titan keywords and you need to have 30 of them or whatever, I can't see why you'd be playing this.
Also,
I've seen. When you go.
No, you first.
I've seen people relating these to like Knott's Flask from the Critical Role stuff. It's an asset, it enters with counters, you're spending the counters to do something. But like Knott's Flask can at least recharge its own counters. These are like the probably means nothing to you guys because I don't think he's kept up with Magic, but in War of the Spark we got baby planeswalkers. Not baby, but like we got uncommon ones that only had abilities to downtick. It feels like those. And I wonder if when we see rare versions of backup, will they have a way to generate their own animal? I just
or will they be good?
Will they be useful? And then you're treading this line, right, of are they going to be too good? And so much for reducing the mental load, right? Lots of decisions in this set to make things less complicated.
And we've still not even seen Shift.
As well.
Yeah. Shift is probably going to be the keyword that's tied to flipping the cards.
Oh, aye, because
I can only assume like Erin transferring into or turning into his big version. There's going to be a shift mechanic or whatever.
So the thing I was looking at this card, right? Obviously, we don't have the ruling. Why? Like, it's so silly we don't have full rulings and stuff when these things come out. if this thing hits 0, what happens, right? Because you lose the stamina as cost before effect.
I can only assume you'd still get ability.
You still get ability. Because like if it leaves play, or if it hits 0, for instance, and leaves play, for instance, like would cost kill it before ability pops off, for instance, so maybe you only get it at 3. Like, but again, I'm saying this because we have no information, because for some reason these cards come out and we get relevant knowledge to know if we should be hyped or not.
I'm pretty sure we've got precedents to see like foundations, like Scott's triggered and enhance. I trigger an ability that destroys that foundation. Scott's already paid cost, even though that foundation's left play, he still gets the rest of his ability. I'm pretty sure that's existed for a long time. So I can only assume these would work the same way, but I understand the question in it.
Yeah, no, fair.
Because if a player put himself to 0, then the game ends.
Yeah, the game
it's not
ends.
like.
But then it obviously goes down to this whole like what is stamina. Yeah.
It's the thing in the green heart.
You need to lose it to get your rubbish effect.
I know.
+1, like I don't. 6 checks about the only good thing that's gone for it. To be honest.
But why does it only give +1 or -1? See, even if it was +1 or -2, then you could argue that it's like, okay, it's at least doing something a little bit more helpful, but
that's what you would see. You would see that on a 2 difficulty asset.
yeah.
Maybe no be a 6 check, maybe have to be a 5, be a 2/5 +3 mid. But yeah, I could see that on an asset. Jaggy's the next one, Murray, and then we can round off.
We have a Titan, medium. So I'm like staring to the side here because I've got the other monitor up. Enhance, commit, lose 1 stamina. This attack gets +2 damage. If your rival has 10 or more foundations, this attack gets +2 speed. So, commit, lose 1 stamina, get +2/+2 in the best case scenario. And it has 7 stamina. And it's also a 6 check. I wonder if we'll see a bunch of these be 4 difficulty 6 checks.
Right, aye. Fair.
Is it bad? Right, I understand this one is committing to give potentially 2/2. But I think this one's worse than the previous one because I actually need to play this.
You have to actually play it out, yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be happy to playing either of them, to be honest. But if I had to play one of them, I'd rather play the one that done something where I didn't need to play a 4 difficulty card that wasn't helping me win the game that turn. Or going to help me win the game later. Like.
So, I mean, it's the same kind of deal, right? So here's the question that I've not asked: do you waste your time hitting these things?
No.
Right. So, like, I'm in the same boat. I'm exactly the same, right? I don't waste my time because it does not win me the game. I don't think it does enough to enhance my opponent's turn. Because again, I could see it on an asset that I wouldn't really be able to hit anyway.
Yeah.
There's only certain things that can hit an asset. So I mean, I could see it on I could actually see an asset that says commit. Attack gets +2 damage. 10 or more foundations gets +2 speed. I could actually see an asset that did that. Like that could be a thing. And I couldn't hit it anyway, so I would have to just live with it. I don't think unless there's a way to ready these things, because it's commit, right? Like just 1 attack a turn gets +2/+2.
I wonder if we'll get something tied. Well, we can't get it tied to the Titan keyword, right? Because the Titan keyword's in white. If it was in blue, there would at least be this hope that maybe you'd be able to commit Titan cards to help you play your bigger attacks, like the 7th diff and the 13th diff. But it's in white, so
I don't.
I guess because it's not well, there's maybe yet of how many put it.
if my opponent
Still,
wants to waste their time playing
I know,
a field
like-
of Titans,
Like I can't wait to do what
Yeah.
should have been an attack run playing out Titans. Like I set up and they can't commit with it, so have foundations in it, and so it's like I don't get it. This one I struggle to figure out.
do I fire it in my deck because I'm running low on high blocks? No, I'd rather find another high block, to be honest with you. It's no, you're never going to use it 7 times, so it doesn't need 7 health.
oh yeah, like how long's the game going to go for you to use this 7 times?
Like, so they said, like, they said they want games to be shorter, and then
Yeah.
yet they're putting things like this in. I
Putting
am.
things like this in and increasing everybody's health by 5.
Aye. I am not at the moment. It's doing nothing. I'm waiting on it. I can't wait to see a Titan large. Know what I mean?
know.
But it's not. Well, do you know what's something I noticed as well? Right, is like even just the so like a small Titan is 295, but the medium one's 294.
It's because M goes before S in the alphabet.
Hate everything about that.
So a big Titan's going to be before this. But extra small will be before the lot it.
I can't wait till we get a Titan Venti, you know, at 298.
I will say, right, the one thing, now you all know my stance on that, one thing that's actually redeeming this a Titan small is how demented that guy looks coming up these stairs, man. Woofed.
Aye, like if you open that door, like, aye, you're shutting that. Aye, the art is like probably one of the redeeming factors I think this set's got for me at least, where it's like I am starting to really warm up to it now. I'm seeing a bit more of it, especially because like these panels where they've just been black and white. So I think just every time I'm seeing like colour to them, I'm like, all right, this is quite cool. And then the rest is a wee bit disappointing, you know. The art shouldn't be what's the best thing about a card anymore.
Yeah.
I'm so I am legit so disappointed with this direction, with this edition.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, right, regarding backups. Why did it need to be its own card type? So we've got terrain, which is a subtype of asset. Why couldn't these also be another subtype of asset? You just make backup a keyword, and whenever we see backup, we see this stupid health symbol, and have them function the exact same way.
Aye. I mean, even just get rid of the health and just have it be counters. Counters are in the game already. They're on assets already. The idea of trying to make something unique is all well and good. Thumbs up, Steve, but like, it's not always going to hit. You know, and I think this is like they're maybe trying too much with it.
Yeah.
And I think that see if they came out with this and it was just one new addition to the game in a random set next year, maybe I'd be a bit more warmed up to it because it's like one new thing. But it just feels as if like there's a million new things coming to this potential 2 sets, and I'm like not interested in any of it. Like,
Yep.
I'm not completely against, like, when we originally got told that My Hero was going to have something new, and we all thought like something special about quirks. I'm like, hey, if that's just for My Hero, that's kind of cool. And then when we go somewhere else, we're going to get its own like flavour or whatever. What I'm definitely struggling with this set is there's so many things that are changing. There's so many things that are like, oh, we'll see how it goes. But Attack on Titan's a relatively popular IP. Obviously getting a lot of press because it recently ended, or the anime recently ended. I don't No, man, I
Yeah.
don't watch it. So, are we going to get an influx of players? Corporate's going to go, oh, hey, this was an amazing set. People loved this because, well, player bases went up by, 50%. And then we only managed to retain, say, 5%, 10% if we're lucky, of the new players. And they go, oh, that set was a success. Let's make these permanent changes.
Yeah.
And it's like,
That's a
yeah.
big worry I've got.
Yep.
Well,
Is
And
it going
then,
to stop me playing the game? Probably not, man. Like worst comes to worst, I'll go and like play other
well,
games.
it's a tipping scale. It's
Yeah, for
like,
you,
oh,
man.
play, don't play. Aye, for me, like as it's a tipping scale.
We both know that if you chucked this game tomorrow and decided you were done, you and I would still be playing this game when we're well into our 50s, assuming that the two is still kicking about. We'd still be playing with whatever decks we like fondly remembered.
Aye,
Aye.
but that's different.
Aye.
That's different.
Nah, man, because if you're like that, then the window's always open for you to come back. People don't leave this game forever. Looking at you, Trig.
Oh yeah. Aye. Right. Well, I think we've rambled on quite a bit tonight. Time to kind of wrap up. So, aye. That's our thoughts. Obviously, I would like to hear your guys' opinion. Listening, you can always find me on Discord or Facebook. Facebook Scott Burry, Bosch678 on the main Discord. Please feel free to reach out, comment on this video. Connor?
yeah, same name obviously, but you'll find me on Facebook, class, or it's just CDog on Twitch. We're live most of the time as well, so I'm always up for a chat as well.
I don't like these. Don't at me. If you got a rules question, message Scott.
I mean, I'm wanting to try and get the international players involved with us as well, not just our UK fan base.
Oh, you want the internationals involved? I think, how's learning Spanish gone for you? Bloody spend best part of a year learning Spanish and then they cancel the one international event that I cared about.
Yeah.
It's alright, Enrique, we'll get an international event soon, mate.
Yeah. But aye, always happy to hear from people. I want to know if you disagree with anything that we've said. I want to know why you disagree. Like proper reasons, not just because you like a company and stuff, and they're flying you to Vegas or that, or Florida or wherever it was. I don't know.
Yeah.
Aye. So like, I don't really care about your guys' opinions, but the real people.
People on the ground level, you know.
Yeah, I want to hear your opinions. And look out for. We've actually got some cracking projects coming up. I'm working on mine. Connor's working on his. Murray's working on his.
Hopefully part 2 will be out this week.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
best video that's been out. Absolutely still the best. So yeah, thanks very much for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.